Hey everyone, this is Dave from Curtis Crafts, and today I make wire spaghetti. What I've been using for audio in quite a few of my props are these $5 to $7 high let go micro SD and USB Mp3 player boards, and these small amps, which I will give an Amazon link to both of these in the description below. But this is a very fast and easy way to add audio to your props. Personally, I get rid of these screw post connections to solder directly to the board, but you don't have to. I heat the back of the connections up with my soldering iron and pull the tops off with pliers while they're still hot. And then I do the same for the small amplifier. I cut out a 2" by 2" piece of styrene to use as a base and hot glued both boards down. This is only necessary for what I'm doing. You would mount this wherever you need to in your prop. You can do this without the amplifier, in which case you'd just skip this following step and you'd wire your speaker directly to the output side of the Mp3 board, which in that case you wouldn't need to run power to the amplifier or anything like that. The Mp3 board itself is actually pretty loud on its own. But here I'm using some Dupont style cables, which I will also give a link to in the description below. Here I'm wiring the speaker out from the Mp3 board to the in and ground side of this amplifier. There's 4 buttons on this board which control track up, track down, pause, and repeat. There's no need in this particular prop to use 2 of these, so all I need is the track up and track down. The volume is controlled by holding track up or track down to go up and down respectively. You can use these buttons as is, or you can remove them, or just solder in a new connection in which to wire an external button, which is what I'm doing on this particular prop so that I can control the track menu on the outside of the gun. If you're having trouble soldering these connections, you should just heat up the buttons that are already there and remove the buttons. Next, I'm adding the power and ground connection to the amplifier, which again is a step you can skip if you are not using it. But if you're not using the micro USB to power this board to a wall outlet, you need to wire in your own 5-volt battery supply to the positive and negative terminals, which are down on the sides of the micro USB input. I added some more hot glue to the sides of the board to keep it from moving, and then I cleaned up the excess with a knife. I also like to add hot glue on top of the connections on these boards so that they don't pull apart while you're moving it around and manipulating it to put it inside the prop. After that, we just load the SD card in, connect it to 5 volts, turn it on. Shut the beast. And then you use the trigger to turn it on and off. It'll just start playing the last track it was playing while it was going. While it's on, though, is when you have to adjust your volume and track. Once I've tested to make sure it works through a regular speaker, I like to load it into the prop and make sure it works with my internal wiring before I go any further. In this case, this is a redo of how I was playing audio through this prop to begin with. So it was set up and already working, and I needed to add in a rocker switch. It was too hard to hold down a momentary switch to activate the music while I was holding down the light switch. So I wanted to be able to turn the music on and leave it on. After that, I opened up my access hatch, which gets me to the Arduino and both battery packs. One pack runs the Arduino solely, and the other one runs this MP3 player. You could technically trigger this board with your Arduino, but if you're already using one and you want an integrated MP3 player for it, there are a few other options out there for doing that. This board is a more analog way of controlling audio for a prop, and the only reason I have it in this is because I didn't want to alter my sketch after I figured it all out for running my LEDs. With this all opened up, it was a good time to change the batteries, even though the old ones were still going just fine. Once the batteries were in, I cut a new slot out for the rocker switch. I attached two Dupont wire leads to the back of it and loaded it in its new location. After that, I cleaned up some of the wiring mess and zip tied it together so that I could insert it into the body of the gun. I tucked the MP3 board into the side for now till I could figure out how I wanted to permanently mount it in the future. After that, my 3D printed fake vents went back on the side, which covers up the access point. And then I reassembled my main access and the rest of the gun. After that, this thing should be ready to fire, and the only thing left was to get into proper 3rd Street attire and test it out. This has been a prop I've wanted for a long time, and it's been about a month-long project. Hopefully this inspires you to build something ridiculous too.